And welcome back to the Corner 3 Show. My name's Alex.
My name's Ross.
My name's Zach.
And we are back from holiday. We are back in
You are back
Indianapolis.
from holiday.
Yes.
Enjoy holiday.
I'm a little tan, not enough for it to turn any eyes, unfortunately. No. But it's a good thing. 2017 has been a great year for Pacers fans and NBA fans in general. It's just been a fun season thus far, but 2017 especially. I think we're 5-0, 6-0, something like that.
4-0.
4-0.
To start the new year.
It feels like 10-0 at this point.
Feels amazing.
Undefeated.
Pacers are in London, getting ready for the Denver matchup. Fun. International game. It's fun. But anyways, let's get right into it. Okay, let's start off. Pacers, start of the new year. Pacers taking on the Pistons. Shout out to Jake Masters of the Corner 3 Show fan club. He was there. But the Pacers take a close one, 121 to 116. Paul George, another beast, all-star, superstar game. Monte came off the bench, went 6 of 6. Really starting to fill into that bench role nicely. What did you guys see?
Well, it was nice to see the bench come together. Obviously, as you mentioned, Monte Ellis coming off the bench. But you're also seeing what we talked about earlier in the year, Kevin Seraphin getting minutes over LaVoy Allen. And he's taking advantage of those minutes. It's nice to see a guy who will actually get there with a little bit of hustle, but a big man that's playing the floor, like LaVoy Allen, who can score. Mm-hmm. So it's good to see the bench coming through. And then, of course, PG is continuing his streak since he had those comments about feeling the pressure of being a leader. He had 32 points that game, continuing to show that he can be a dominant player.
He was a monster. I have written down here he's on pace to set a Pacers record in free throws percentage, which is kind of shocking because you would think Reggie Miller has that record locked up. Actually, it's owned by Chris Mullin with 93.9% free throw percentage.
99 or 98?
I didn't write that specific stat.
That's good, though. That's good. I mean,
but PG is shooting right now 91.9%. So he's close to actually breaking that record. He's only second in the NBA behind Steph at 93%. So he has a chance. That's a random stat, but it's a nice stat to have, be solid from the line. So nice to see.
He's going to shoot some more the way he's playing recently because he's getting to the paint more. He's playing a bit more physical game. But yeah, this was a fun game. I mean, I know it was closer. Pacers have a hard time still closing out games even when they have a big lead, but it was a good game just to get the year rolling. They're 11-1 when scoring 110 or more, which is pretty good. It kind of is a testament to Larry, I guess, wanting to play a faster pace. When they do play a faster pace, they're able to score a lot of points. I mean, this team offensively, that starting unit, they're tough to stop offensively, definitely.
Even the second unit this game, they all finished with a positive plus-minus rating. Monte had 16 points off the bench.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
It was a road win.
Yeah.
Got a road win finally.
A solid road win.
This is what I called a loss, and Zach actually called this to continue the streak.
5-0.
Good call,
5-0.
Zach.
Wait, what was I?
You called a win as well. I was the only one. I thought it's a road. Pacers are not going to keep it. My bad.
Hey,
apologize.
It's all good, though. But I think this game was a good, trend for moving forward. And Ross would talk about the Nets win, even though it's the Nets, still W.
Yes, so they followed up that strong performance against the Pistons with another 121 points scored against the Nets this time.
It's a good number.
121 to 109. Yeah, nice all-around game for everybody. Turner had 5 blocks, continuing that streak of games with a block. That puts him at 25 straight games with at least one block. I think it's the current record in the NBA of continuous games with a block. And he had a crazy stat that I found, crazy. He joined a club of players who scored 25, had 15 rebounds, and 5 blocks in a game. I have it written down, but the other 3 guys, Shaq, Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, and now Miles
Pretty good
Turner.
Group, I'd say. He's not bad in this Miles Turner guy.
Those are all-stars, future Hall of Famers.
He's not bad.
No, he's pretty gosh darn good.
And one thing I've noticed, and this is, some like Bill Simmons, body language doctor, but like cheesy stuff, but I don't know if you guys follow them on Instagram. I know you guys follow them on Instagram, but on Snapchat too. This team is having fun being together now. If you watch them just interacting with each other, like there was an Instagram video today of Jeff Teague throwing up a lob to Glenn Robinson just in like a fun inter-squad scrimmage. And you can just tell this team is starting to bond. Like they realize that like the rotation is where it needs to be. And that's why we'll talk a little bit later about Stuckey coming in, maybe mixing things up. But I think Ellis knows and Robinson fits right in with the lineup. And Seraphin, who we have been... Obviously, Coach McMillan and Mr. Bird Larry Legend listen to the show because we've been on that for forever.
Amazing what a little bit of winning does to your team chemistry.
It's so true, even for professionals.
Well, this is one that I think they needed because this is a game where, as we talked about before, if you want to be a good team, you want to make the playoffs, you have to beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
This is like one of the games before the new year where they were in the struggle or they were in that rut where they would lose the teams they should beat. It was nice to see them just go out, win the game, move on.
Yeah.
It's what was it, 4 straight wins at that point. And winning solves everything. Think of Cam Newton. I mean, when he's losing, look how much of a bad mood he is.
Yeah.
So obviously winning solves things.
And the Nets are 8-28, worst in the East. And right now, if the season ended, they would have the number 1 pick in the draft. So
Dallas
you got to
playing
beat a team like this.
Is
Dallas actually has won since the last time that was
Mm-hmm.
the case. They're a couple games up on them, but beat the teams you're supposed to beat, especially when they're the worst in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really tough December schedule. I mean, we had that 2 long road trips that were really tough, and we got some good wins actually through it. And then now we kind of have an easier schedule here, but it's picking up, and we're getting wins we should have, and that helps the team as a whole. Pacers Knicks, baby.
Pacers and Knicks, yes.
Knicks versus Knicks.
Zach was there.
I went to this game thanks to the Corner 3 Ross.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think it's just because his wife's about to have a baby. Congratulations, by the way. But he wanted to play it safe, and he let me have those tickets. Plus, Alex was out of town. So I was like his last report, I think.
No, you were like 1A, 1B.
No, I was out of town. I didn't have a chance. I'll tell you.
This was 80 Baubles night. Chuck Pearson.
We'll have him here on the show soon. Not Chuck Person, but
the bobblehead.
The bobblehead, yes. I forgot to bring it for the show. This was our 5th straight win, which early in the week, me and Ross did a show. The recording was bad, so we kind of just glossed over that. But I predicted 5-0. It's on the record.
It's on the record.
Sure,
I just deleted it, but it was actually on the record.
This magical podcast that happened.
Written down. He's not lying.
You're ridiculous.
But this was a game being there. It looked like the first game in a while. The Pacers just had control from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The bench played good. The starters played great. One thing I noticed was I loved the play of C.J. Miles in this game. He was hitting the shots. He was driving his cutting, playing good D, hustling. I saw a note that said the bench was like -16 on the plus minus. They were like, so I saw people tweeting, we need to fix that. But being there in person, besides a couple turnovers by Monte Ellis, which he does that no matter what when he's trying to play point and find opportunities.
Big Monte fans.
Yes. Besides that, those turnovers, I thought the bench played good. I thought it was cohesive. Yeah. We maintained the lead. Those plus-minus stats sometimes don't always apply in the right situations.
Exactly. I mean, plus-minus is fun to look at, like to put blame on one person or a second unit. But, I mean, a lot of these advanced stats, like the real plus-minus and then like the PER is a lot better stat to look at, even though when you go to the box score on ESPN, the first thing that you see is like points, rebounds, and plus-minus. But if you get a chance, look at the real plus-minus because it actually tells a lot bigger story than just your arbitrary box score stat.
Yeah.
Anything else you noticed at the New York game?
How was Turner's block? You were right next to it, right?
Turner's block was good. They can get pretty crazy. The fans in Ross's section, one section over, kind of get annoyed with them.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. My seats are company seats. So everybody there is company.
Just for being loud, or
just there's certain chances.
They're there to enjoy the game with their family.
You
got these.
And then they actually called the ushers over because people were being upset by them yelling "Honey Nut Cheerios" when Carmelo Anthony.
That is so good, though.
That's good.
Shout out to Kevin Garnett, GOAT.
Yeah.
Go to trash talking.
But they were tweeting about that. I saw that they were told to stop. And
I love the creative.
That's good stuff.
Chance.
They're like a mature high school crowd.
Did they turn their back during the starting lineup?
They did.
And
They
stuff?
turned their backs. They chanted.
That stuff is gold, people.
Of course, then
Keep
we
it
had
up.
the
shout out to the Turner block.
Yeah, the Turner block. Hey guys. But then we had the situation, of course, of Joe Young getting ejected for.
Yeah, what was? I've read about it. The next day.
Stupid. Did you see it?
Basically, he just did ball pressure on Brandon Jennings, and Brandon Jennings. It was like a minute left in the game, and Brandon Jennings was mad about it. And so
did they throw a punch? Why did they get ejected?
It was just words.
Well, I think at the end of the game too, they don't want something stupid like the game's over. They just want to say, hey, just get out of here. Because I've seen that happen a lot more often though, where ejections will happen at the end of a game when a game is decided because. Like, remember that game versus the Pistons last year where Markieff Morris and Paul George got into it at the end? Like, the last thing you want is some knucklehead, getting into it and ruining a game that was perfectly fine.
I turned off all my stuff. My game's over. We got this one. And then I go on the next day. What happened?
And I was looking for it, too. I was like, wait, Joe Young, he
played like, what, a minute? Yeah.
But other than that, though, now in retrospect, we can look back at that game. DRose obviously has been in the news a lot. We'll talk about him later, but a big part of the reason, the speculation at least, of why he's been mad and why he didn't show up for the game last night is because he got benched in the fourth quarter of that game for cult favorite Ron Baker, the blonde-headed mop-tops Mr. Sunshine
Wichita
from
State.
Remember the Titans from Wichita State.
No,
But so that's just something interesting to look at. So we don't really know all that happened there.
Well,
he's actually averaging 18. He's not playing badly. I mean, the Knicks are terrible themselves.
On the way to your house today, they said on the radio he just left the team without informing them. It was a family thing in Chicago.
We know it's deeper than that, though.
Yeah, they asked what it was, and he said it's fine, and I'm going to play, and I'll take the fine. So
Yeah, it's weird. This is a weird. Like there's so much left to come out about
you're
this.
in a real job. You don't just leave and not tell them, hey, I'm sick, or hey, it's a family thing.
We'll talk about this
Yeah,
later.
we'll talk a little bit.
But I just wanted to bring that out that
Well,
now
no
we can
one-
look back and say,
Yeah,
well, Zach was there.
I was there.
maybe
He
something.
might have seen the last D-Rose ever play. Who knows?
A couple other things from that game too I thought were interesting. I've been preaching rebounds. We out-rebounded the Knicks by 21 that game. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little sign there. One thing that does bug me, that I love the decade nights this season, 60s,
Yeah,
70s,
this
80s,
is
90s.
big.
You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a missed opportunity. I mean,
Absolutely.
they wore the gold jerseys, which I love. Why can't we wear the 80s jerseys? I
Makes
mean,
no sense.
I'm sure there's some legal thing with why you can't, but you can sell them in your gift shop, but you can't wear them on the court. I don't understand that. Maybe someone can let me know. And on top of that, Chuck Person wasn't even there. It would have been cool to have
I
Chuck Person
believe
there.
Chuck is an assistant coach on Auburn's basketball team.
Yeah, that's what they tweeted out. And I understand that, but couldn't you schedule it, try to get a week when he's free?
That's true. You
I don't
can pick a
know,
different game,
right?
maybe.
But I think the jersey thing is huge.
The jersey thing is
I
big.
brought out, I think a couple times on our Twitter, that Miami has like
Yeah.
15 alternate jerseys that are
Pink
all
ones
ugly.
and
And we can't get some for our 50th season. So I don't know what the deal is there. I don't know if we have to pay something. It could be something really stupid that we just didn't do. But, it is fun anyways. But I guess, we're Pacers fans. We don't get all the luxuries as everyone else
I guess.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But also, Monte Ellis broke his nose versus Detroit and played through it versus the Nets without a mask. I've had a broken nose. For those on YouTube, this was my old mask, my Rip Hamilton mask. It sucks, first of all, having a broken nose, because the slightest touch or tap feels like someone just clocked you, like Mike Tyson clocked you. But I guess Monte Ellis is a tough guy. Let's give him credit there. I just wanted to shout him out for a
And he
second.
played well.
Yeah.
We did have a question.
Oh, someone tweeted at us, baby.
Our first fan question. We appreciate
We've had
it.
some other fan questions.
It
We
was
just thought they were
from
stupid.
Yeah. We just censored the rest of them out. This is from We Can See 20 to 18. Underneath it's Joe Emmerich, so thank you, Joe.
Shout out, Joe.
His question was, what moves need to be made for, one, enhancing the depth for our playoff run, or two, ensuring the capability to re-sign Paul George, Jeff Teague, Miles Turner?
So the first question was, what moves
Playoff
for
run.
playoff
Do we
run?
need to, what kind of moves do you think need to be made to ensure a playoff run that's halfway
yeah,
deep?
you-
I think
I think that we kind of talked about this
Yeah.
last week. I think this coincides with the return of Rodney Stuckey.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you have Ellis coming off the bench, you can't have Brooks, Stuckey, and Ellis
Yeah.
all coming off the bench, all wanting the ball.
something's going
As
to happen.
we talked about last week, my theory on this was if they had the opportunity to make the trade, either Ellis or Stuckey, I think they would actually trade Rodney Stuckey.
Me too.
Just because of injuries.
Now, for sure.
Yeah, because of injuries and because Monte Ellis has the capability of scoring 25 points in the game. So you still want that firepower coming off the bench. Plus, Laybird has the issue of just signing him last year. He probably doesn't want to give up that quick. So I think if they had a move, they would package maybe somebody else with Stuckey.
Stuckey and Lavoie or something, or
Yeah.
Stuckey in a pick.
And you've been calling
yeah.
for a power forward for a while.
I
You
still think we need a power forward because Kevin Saracen is not a power forward. If you've
not
got
athletic.
athletic, because if you do a pick and roll or pick and pop at the top of the key, he's not going to be able to recover in time. Like kind of like a Roy Hibbert, he was never able to recover in time to help on that. So you need an athletic four who's there to rebound, get you a couple baskets.
I'd also take some sort of just a scoring two who can like scoring and defense. I don't know if there's anything like that.
3-and-D guy like Thabo.
Like a 3-and-D guy would be perfect as well. I agree because CJ is not a 3, and he's just 3.
Yeah.
He's just a 3 guy.
Stuckey's
It's a tough
slasher.
question, because we're finally seeing the lineup that we've wanted to see all season that we've been calling for. And right now
And
they're
it's
winning.
clicking,
It's
so-
clicking. But the thing is, Stuckey's going to want to play, and he's just the sad part is about Stuckey, he just can't stay on the court. He's never been able to stay on the court while he's been a Pacer, and when he plays, we love him. He plays great. But when he's injured, which is a lot of the time, it just hurts our team.
Yeah.
So to go the first part, it'll see. I want to see what happens in the next few weeks and see if they play Stuckey at all. Or I don't know.
Once he's back, yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
When's the trade deadline? Does anybody know?
February 23rd, I want to say.
Nice job,
Coming up. I was researching this morning because I am curious.
So you say like a 3-and-D. I'm still saying backup 4.
Something like
or stretch 4 too.
Oh, stretch 4 would be perfect actually because we need someone else because you look how well Thad's playing with Teague in that stretch 4 slot.
Have any names in mind for a stretch 4? I can't really come up with any off the top.
I don't know if they what's his face, bigger guy. He played for the Bucks. He played for the Wizards. Jared Dudley.
He's not playing at all right now.
Jared Dudley. Ooh. I don't know. I can think of that. That would be perfect. Veteran guy.
Wesley Matthews was at
no
Canada,
defense
but he's playing
though.
well.
No defense.
Neither of them are going to play defense.
Anyways, our Nerlens, something for Nerlens. I take Nerlens in a heartbeat. He's on the block.
I feel like they want a lot for him, more than we're willing to give up.
If we give them a pick and Stuckey, because all they want is picks.
It'd be a low 20s pick. Yeah, I'd be saying that.
Throw the second out there.
Anyways, the second piece?
Second one was to be able to keep Paul, Teague, and Miles. I don't think there's anything you can just win.
Well, really. Miles is done. Don't worry about Miles.
Miles is locked
Miles
up.
at least signed up for.
Teague's going to happen this
Teague's
year.
Going to happen. I guarantee you.
George is going to opt out, but he's going to opt back in because we already talked about it. The crazy amount
he's
not
going to be able
to sign.
The only thing I can think of is them bringing in someone after Monte Ellis. So someone maybe not next year, but the year after that. Going for big name because I think the cap rises. It's not going to rise as much this next year as they thought it was. I remember Zach Lowe brought that out, but then the year after that, they expect it to make the bigger jump.
Huge,
yeah.
Which that kind of gives you like a buffer to get more guys because you're going to already have, Turner signed. You're going to have Paul signed next year, and it's going to jump up more the next year. So you have more cap room to play with, and you'll have salaries already set. So.
And don't underestimate Poitras coming up, or one of these D-League Mad Ants guys. A guy is super young.
Ben Bentel when he comes back.
Super athletic. I mean, there's a reason they bought the team. They didn't buy the team to make money, because I'm sorry, you're not making a ton of money from the Fort Wayne Mad Ants.
No.
But they bought the team for a reason, because they think that they can have the full rights to these players and make some moves.
I think, in short, don't fret, Pacers fans.
Yeah.
Teague, Miles, and George are going to stay. We're going to keep that big three at least for the next 2-3 years.
That could be a monster big three in
once
2 or 3
Miles
years.
develops into his crazy double self every night and 5 blocks.
Once Curry leaves for the Hornets.
If Karl Anthony Towns, Kristaps Porzingis, all those names weren't in the NBA, we'd be talking about Miles as an all-star this year. He really should be, but there's so many other names in front of him right now.
Speaking of Porzingis, he is the skinniest person I've ever seen in my life in person.
Wow.
It was a toothpick out there. I'm serious. Like, at least from the seats we were in. Yeah. And you see just how tall he is, and then you see his body. It's like, holy crap, how's he not breaking half when somebody's
That's why no one wanted to draft him. They're all scared.
Posting him up. But Duke can hit a shot like nothing. I mean,
he's extremely talented.
He can score like crazy.
He's like a Dirk Nowitzki to me a little bit, but more playing down low, too.
Yeah, he's not afraid to bang, even though he's like 225,
7'2".
40 pounds.
He's Roy Hibbert height, but he can go in and actually dunk and not fall over.
It's interesting. Anyway, so right now, Pacers stand. They're in London. They are 2018 fifth in the East. So they went from
the 8th, 9th spot all the way to the 5th.
Yeah, maybe even 10th. But yeah, big moves. But obviously, it's the East right now. There's a lot of teams fluctuating. I mean, the team that's fourth are the Hawks right now. They're looking to blow it up. They pretty much, they know they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
they're just a well-coached team who wins because they're a really well-coached team. They got a good scheme, but they're blowing it up. But had the Pacers figured it out? Now, my take is, just don't take this like it's something, bigger than it actually is. They've beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
They're playing crap teams.
They have a bad schedule, but listen, every team in the NBA has a period where they're going to play under 400 or 500 teams, and so just take advantage of it. I don't think they figured it out. I think the rotation, they're getting there. They're really close.
They're playing the rotation that feels like it fits the roster that we have, and they're playing inferior opponents. So right now, let's win the games we're supposed to win. I'll wait till we play. I think we play the Jazz later this month, or
that'll be a tough one.
One of those bigger teams. That'll be the true test. I want to say they figured it out, but let's just keep going.
We just have to be patient with it because we thought about this earlier in the season. They had a couple game winning streak. Then they lose 3 games in a row, then they'll win, and then they'll lose.
Well, literally last week when we recorded on this topic spot, I had written down, has the NBA passed Larry Bird by? Now we're in a 5-game winning streak. So now it's like, maybe.
That? You wrote has the NBA?
Yeah, I was actually Mr. Negative.
Okay, Skip Bayless.
Hot take. Don't call me. Oh, That's another person.
Shout out to that terrible show. Anyways, so I think the consensus is, they're playing well, but I think the biggest thing is look at the rotation. The rotation is clicking. They're obviously having more fun on the court, more fun with each other. They know their role. That's the biggest thing, too. On a team, the worst feeling in the world is not knowing what's expected of you and what you can and cannot do. Because you're talented. Obviously, you guys are talented. But if you don't know what your teammates want you to do, what your superstar, your coach, your owner, GM, you're in free fall. But right now, I think even Monte Ellis kind of knows where he's going.
I was going to say, props to Monte Ellis. Mr. Starter his whole career.
Yeah.
Moving to the bench instead of complaining like a normal person would in that position. He said, I'm going to do what the team wants me to do. And it's exactly what we need him to do. It's working.
Just watch it a couple more games and see how it continues to flow. And if this lineup continues to work, we beat Denver. We beat New Orleans, which we're 0-1 against. And then, like I said, we play Jazz later this month. Then we can see what this lineup truly is, and we might be able to say we did turn around.
Get some momentum into All-Star break and, just get some rest then and see what happens at the trade deadline, see if we make any moves.
Yeah.
All right, other than that, I think we kind of skipped. They're undefeated in 2017. Woohoo. That's good news. We're all happy about that.
Feels good.
But they're in London, and I think Ross should handle the PG because he's been excited for the PG1. Which I promise you, I caught this when they played the Lakers earlier this season at home. After the game, Paul George shook up with Brian Shaw, and Brian would ask for an autograph. You could tell in the background. It was after JJ's interview, and you can hear Paul George go, "No, don't worry about it. My shoe comes out in January," or something like that. And I remember I caught that out of it, and I was like, PG1, baby.
Well, I remember they released some hinting shots of what it could look at like last year, and no one was really impressed.
Yeah.
And then what started? I know they're in London, and then PG had that shot of him holding the shoe.
Oh,
and then
CJ Miles actually took
did you see that? Sandals.
CJ goes, I'm
in the
going
box.
to show it, and he opens it, and it's just Nike sandals. Yeah.
His wife wasn't very happy about that.
Thanks, CJ. That was very much appreciated.
CJ's a clown on the team.
If your fans haven't seen it yet, I'm sure you have, but go Google the PG1 Nike.
They're pretty nice.
They're
pretty sweet.
I don't know how would you describe them. They're kind of gray silver.
It's
with
like a mix
a tie across the front.
It's like a mix of like a Kobe
Looks
basketball
like a Kobe.
shoe and like a Nike running shoe.
Yeah, so it's no tongue. It's all that same kind of like mesh insole almost.
Yeah. Like the
it's
2015
low.
Hyperdubs.
It's low, and then on the front he's got a little bobber for the ties on the strings because he's a fisher. He likes to fish.
There's a shout out to how much he likes fishing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and then insole is NBA 2K shot of PG because he's on the cover of 2K this year.
I honestly thought that people photoshopped.
It looked really bad.
I know, right?
I was like, is this photoshopped? No, it's the next week. It's there again. It's in the next week.
It looks really bad. Jake Query was like, why are his lips look like they're bleeding? Because they're really red. It looks kind of odd. I understand where
it's
they're
kind of like
doing
shout
it.
out like this year. Like, I mean, first like Olympics.
Yeah.
Own shoe, 2K. Pretty good year for Paul George.
And the bottom of them are kind of like clear with almost like pink, I want to say. Kind of a pinkish red, like cushion spot in the middle. They're unique. Yeah, I really...
I don't know if I'd ever wear them on the court.
That's what I was thinking.
Clean.
I don't know if I'm...
I don't like wearing low tops.
I've never played in lows. That's what I was thinking.
ankles.
But I've only bought one signature shoe in my life, but this will be my second. I'm just going to say it right.
Yeah, they're cool.
I'm going to buy them when they come out, which they haven't announced officially when, but it's...
Soon enough.
I do like his new logo.
Did you like it, the little PG?
I do. I liked it better
tie.
than the half P and the half G.
Yeah, which he's been rocking those on all of his shoes for a while now.
I do like the new logo.
Yeah.
As you brought up in a couple of tweets, you thought it was pretty similar to Miles Turner's.
I just thought everybody seemed to go in that little bow tie look, right?
Bow look, yeah.
Turner's is the 33 MT.
I mean, who
bow
knows?
tie.
It might evolve because you think about. I mean, LeBron still has his old logo.
The
his
king
2-3,
with the little crown thing.
Oh no, like the one where it's like the L. And then the J wraps
no, that's what
around.
I'm thinking of.
And
Sorry.
Kobe has like just like the
that weird
star. This with like that thing. So who knows? It could evolve.
I don't know.
It's
nice.
Cool. Good for him though. I mean, there's only 4 Nike athletes right now with signature shoes. Basketball.
Think of it this way: did you ever think,
Good call.
growing up, or even as Pacers fans listening, did you ever think, as a Pacers fan, you'd see a Pacers player on the cover of 2K and a Pacers player with their own signature
No.
shoe?
Shout out to Zach.
Never.
Just getting me crying over here.
I love that. They said they've been developing this for 2 years. Obviously, when he broke his leg, it kind of shook up their time frame for release. I'm super happy for him.
Yeah.
I think one of the guys on Twitter was talking about reasons for PG staying. This just adds to that list. You know, he can get a signature shoe, and he can still stay in Indianapolis. You don't need to be on a.
I'm happy for him. I mean, he's been through a crap ton of crap. is the easiest way to say it. So good for him. Shout out to PG.
Nice.
All right, let's get to some general roster thoughts.
Kind of already talked about a lot of these things.
Yeah, so they're in London. Anyways, they're in London. They play on 2 days.
One thing I did want to bring up in London.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had 4 or 5 days in London since they got there.
Mm-hmm.
ISPN
Yeah, Pacers podcast?
Yeah, the Pacer podcast. He brought up a good point. I totally agree with it. This is a great time for the team to gel. They've
Yeah.
been doing tours. They've been riding around the bus.
It looks
they
like
went
they
to
have
dinner
to.
tonight. They look like they're having a good
Buckingham
time.
Palace.
Took pictures out in front of Big Ben. Miles Turner got a Tassat watch and stuff.
He's getting sponsored by them.
He's sponsored by them, yeah. So the team seems to be enjoying themselves. PG's doing the shoe, showing off the shoe and everything. Yeah. They're having fun.
Guys, just a
good time really
to be
good.
Now Rout's going to start crying.
Anyways, okay. So we kind of talked about this already, but what to do when Stuckey comes back? I think we can kind of pass over this a little bit, but I mean, the consensus is we just want to wait and see what. I mean, I guarantee you, Nate, Larry, Donnie, Pritchard have all been talking about this already. What to do? So I know they have a plan.
Yeah, I love Stuckey, but
we're not going to be skip and just speculate. And then Ross mentioned the free throw record. I do when PG goes to the line. I'm pretty confident. You know what's scary? The only person I've really been that confident with is Roy Hibbert. He used to hit his free throws.
Really?
Remember Roy Hibbert? He used to hit his free throws. Even George Hill would miss.
Felt good, yeah.
Even George Hill would miss a lot of big ones.
We haven't had a pacer who, when they went to the line, I felt like this is definitely going in since Reggie, really, in my opinion.
PG is
PG right now, though, I'm feeling it's in. It's money.
There's a lot knocked down.
And then, as we also noted, Glenn Robinson coming out with you got the nickname going, Trey Dog.
Who came up with that?
No, because his name, okay.
I know it's the 3 and then Big Dog.
Big Dog, yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw it start to pop up
on.
on Twitter like in the last week.
Really? You didn't know that?
I didn't know it either.
I never heard of it
Ross
until like
was
literally the
first.
last 2 weeks.
They call him on the team, I noticed they call him just the third.
Yeah.
They'll say like the third.
So instead of 3 Dog, it's Trey Dog.
Because it was Big Dog, because his dad's Big Dog.
I know, I love it. I'm tired of the names
You
like
want, like, Lil
PG-13,
Dog?
CP3. No, that's
You don't want Little Dog.
No, I don't want that either. I'm just tired of the number with the name, so Trey is a little different.
I know what this reminded me of,
Fun.
though. I wish that Grady would introduce Jeff Teague like he said he wanted to be introduced. Because he says
Little, you're from Indiana?
like he said a kid, like in his press conference, they asked him how would you like to be introduced because George Hill was the hometown hero. And he said just a kid from Indianapolis. I wish he said just a kid from Indianapolis, Jeff. I mean, that just like, that tugs on the heartstrings.
Speaking of, you know how like the block,
the
Turner's block,
yeah.
they like to chant. I have to click it. We'll keep going. Turner's block. They like to chant "Hometown Hero" when Jeff Teague is at the free throw line. Well, when Courtney Lee is at the free throw line, they count. They say "Hometown Zero."
Oh.
It was kind of brutal.
We want you, Courtney Lee, but
Yeah.
you started in contract.
Why would you go to New York? I mean, it doesn't sound that great. All right, so moving on now, talking about our upcoming opponents. So we have the London game. Denver, they are 14-23, a lot of young pieces, and definitely a trade candidate coming up.
Have you watched Jokic play lately?
He's fun.
He is really good.
He's fun. He's like
I love when they sets the screen, the guy rolls around, and he makes that pass.
Yeah.
The guy's trailing the defender on the point guard.
he's good.
I love
No,
that
he's a good
pass.
player. They got some really fun young pieces, but no team. They have no team whatsoever.
Besides Jokic.
Jokic.
Gary
I mean, like
Harris.
they have pieces. What I'm saying, like, but like that. This is not
They
a
have
team that
pieces
will
I
win
would
games
love to
and
have.
go to the playoffs.
pieces that don't fit together.
Yeah, they're a bunch of young pieces.
Because I believe they have.
Fareed? No. that's not
They
really
won a lot
stretch
for.
three, yeah.
They
I
won a
don't.
lot
They
for
at some point they gotta let him go because it makes no sense holding on to this asset that tons of teams would want. I mean, he's a great
They're
player.
shopping the other big guy, too, Nurkic, right?
Nurkic and
I
Jokic.
think they even Chandler and
Wilson
Gallinari.
Chandler. Gallinari.
I think everyone on the block is for them, but Moutier probably and Murray, probably
Most
only two.
likely.
That only not on the block. Honestly, I got the Pacers. I'm riding them. I'm riding them big. It's a bad team. I think the Pacers are gelling right now. I think they'd be extremely disappointed to go to London and lose. That's a long flight home.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if this is a game where you like. This is one I would expect is the one you're supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. But this is also a week where you've been in London, enjoying
You got
yourself,
this.
enjoying yourself. You know,
Yeah.
doing all these promotions for shoes and watch companies and just having fun with your teammates.
You taking Denver?
I'm taking Denver.
Oh my gosh!
Hey,
You're gonna
I-
regret that.
If I regret it, that's fine. The Pacers won, but I was 5-0 last week. I gotta keep this winning.
He's
streak
saying he's
alive.
smarter than us.
Yes.
This is where I make up ground. I'm going to go with the Pacers. I feel all this team chemistry. They're going to just ride this through. This is a win.
All right.
All right. So we got 2 Pacers fans and 1 trader. Good.
right.
Good to know. Also,
So what
Gary.
does that make that? A home game, an away game? I know it's away.
I don't know. It
Neutral
probably
site.
no. What does it count? Does anyone know what it counts as? Do we
I
lose a
don't
home
know.
game?
No.
I think it is their home game, so I think we're okay.
Whatever.
Anyways, but also Indianapolis product, HSC grad, Gary Harris playing really well after he came back from injury, and he's starting again, and he's a good player. I hope that he gets traded somewhere so he can be on a winning team and make an impact.
Gary.
New Orleans. Who's got New Orleans? You got New Orleans.
I have New Orleans.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, Pacers fans. I am a Pacers fan, but I'm trying to win this competition as well. And
He's the worst.
Oof.
I'm gonna pick the Pelicans to win this game. Anthony Davis seems to have our number. Miles Turner has been improving against these big guys that can outmuscle him. But I just feel like this is one of those teams where we should win, and it's going to come back to bite us. I feel like we're in the next two, we're going 0-2.
So you go 5-game winning streak to a 2-game losing
Hey,
streak.
guess who I have? I have the freaking Indiana Pacers because they are amazing. You know? What is wrong with you?
Hey, we all asked if they turned it around, and I'm still staying on the fence. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon just yet. I am a Pacers fan.
I let you yell at Zach, so you don't have to yell at me because I'm going to take the Pelicans on this one too.
What is wrong
Hey,
with you?
you
An
know
away
what? This is
game,
your
they
chance
come
to
back after
make up
London.
ground.
I made up my ground already. I'm right there.
You're like in third
You're
place.
2 games behind us.
I'm 2 games behind.
So this is your chance to make up 2 games on me. You should be
Listen,
happy about this.
Pacers fans.
Or
Okay, they're
drop
on a
4
roll
now.
right now, and the rest of the Pelicans are not very good. They have no players. They have Drew Holiday. They have Tim Frazier. They have Etwan Moore. And guess what? None of
Monty
those-
Eunice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just
Is
grasping
he
for
even
straws.
playing at this point? I don't
no,
even
he's
know.
not.
They're not very good. We lost to them. We should have lost to them.
Hey, if we win
Road
both these
game.
games at 7-game winning streak, I would be ecstatic. I'd be hugely ecstatic.
I got a stat for you Pacers fans.
Uh-oh.
So I just want to shout
You
out
gotta
Jeff
know.
Teague for a second. He is averaging 16, 8, and 4. He's 6th in the league in assists. And there are quite a few good East Point guards, so that's probably why he won't be an All-Star, of course. But in January, in the past few games, averaging 17, 10, 4. He's playing really well. You look at his stat line, he's balling.
17 against the Bulls, assists against the Bulls.
He's balling. He's found his niche, and like he and Miles and Thad Young, they can play off each other so well right now. He hasn't really figured out how to play with Glenn as much, but those 3 they play really, really, really well together.
He's making you see why we've been calling for him in trades.
So long, yeah.
And we finally got him.
Miller Time Podcast had a poll literally today on that kind of question. He goes, who has been most impressive? Which Pacer has been most impressive who's not named Paul George in the last 10 games? Teague, Miles Turner, Glenn Robinson, Thad Young. Guess who won with 72% of the vote? Teague.
He's playing his butt off.
Yeah. I totally agree with that.
Even Miles Turner and the players are recognizing that. Miles Turner had an interview last week and said, part of the reason why we're playing so well is we're relying on Jeff Teague now. He's finding us. What did he say?
He knows where to put the ball
He's not even looking, and he
Yeah.
can find us.
No,
It's-
he's playing
chemistry.
really, really well.
when he's a primary ball handler instead of sharing with somebody else.
There you go.
I like this guy. He's good. Anyways, so that does it. This is our first Pacers only podcast. So this does it for the Pacers podcast. But of course, you can find the second half of our show, the NBA College Hoop Show, somewhere in our feed on iTunes, SoundCloud, or wherever. But where can they follow us on social media, Ross?
Twitter, Facebook,
Yes. Why are you so
Instagram.
scared?
I don't know. I don't have Facebook. I'm trying to think you guys are keeping the Facebook up.
Yeah.
Email us as well. We
Not
check it
Pinterest,
often
though.
at Gmail.
The corner3show@gmail.com.
Thank you.
The corner 3, yeah.
Yes.
Also, if you want to find us, you can also, if you're watching this, you're on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends about us. Obviously, we're switching things up a little bit. We're doing just the Pacers section, and then we'll also have a second episode with just general NBA and college basketball.
So we hope you join us.
And also, coming soon, we'll have nightly recaps of all the Pacers games, 1 minute on the dot. So you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter, you want a quick recap the game, but you don't just want the highlights, want to know what happened, what it means for Pacers fans, follow the Corner 3 Show. We're coming at you, people.
It's something I can do when I'm home taking care of a newborn.
It's gonna be fun, people. We hope you like it, and we'll catch you soon. See ya.
See ya.
Peace.